they wanted it and where they wanted it, but it's finally begun. We're finally ready.
Everyone at home watching finally gets to see the very exciting picks that we have been waiting to just, I don't know, show you, tell you, whatever you want to say, but you will finally get to see these picks. The B1 of choice in particular, I don't expect it to actually be the B1 because it's not a top laner here in this game, but the B1 in the actual drop is really probably the most spiciest pick of them all.
Yeah, it's interesting. Doesn't even really do it justice. I feel it was not something I would have guessed in a million years. Not something I would have ever expected to see. But that's why we're here, right? Because it is just always, you don't know what to expect in this league. It is always great. But they are going to be picking in typical lineup, I would have to assume. So the Malphite being unlocked here, followed in by yet another Scion. Let's hope that this Scion fares a little bit better than our last one.
Hopefully, yes. The Scion jungle did not work out as well as we had hoped. The Scion was also the R5 for Indy Esports on the red side. So that was their true counter pick in the top lane that they wanted. The counter pick into the Malphite. These are two top laners that, I mean, maybe Malphite less so, but Scion has been very meta recently, and Malphite has not. But I'm actually quite excited to see the tank. I don't know if you want to call it brawl, wet noodle fight, whatever you want to say. It should be a very interesting top lane.
Yeah, definitely so here. The Belveth as well, something that you don't see too often anymore. When she was initially released, it was like, damn, look, no attack speed cap. Love to see it. But it kind of fell into irrelevance, it felt like, as the time went on. It's going to get picked up, though. The Kayn and the Syndra are two picks that I've seen a lot of, and I like to see it. But Zoe, that's also another pick you don't see as often, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, the Zoe was the B2 of choice as well. So that's not even the spicy pick that I was alluding to earlier as the B1. The spicy pick, now we can finally reveal, is the Vex B1. For KTPU. They went into this draft knowing this was going to be a Vex. I don't know if they went in knowing that this was going to be a Vex 80 carry, but they did lock Zoe immediately after on B2, so I would have to assume that they did go in knowing this is a Vex 80 carry, and Indy Esports matches it with none other than an Ahri 80 carry here. Echo, what a bot lane.
I was going to say, it's already enough that it's a Vex ADC in this universe. They just said, screw it. We'll answer with our own tech. The Ahri getting picked up as well. Ahri, Senna, not really a lane I have too many notes about, surprisingly enough, because it's not really something we see. And I have to imagine it's probably the same for you when it comes to the Vex Pike, because I can definitely see some synergy, but I've never seen it done before. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I don't think I can ever say I've seen either of these bot lanes played before either, so I'm gonna have to assume that it is Senna fasting and Ahri farming. I'd be very surprised if it was the other way around. Or wait, no. Oh my god, they swapped it on us. It's a Syndra 80 carry Ahri mid lane. Man, I was just about to make the point. I've seen Ahri supports before, but nope. I've definitely seen more Syndra 80 carries. I've seen more Syndra 80 carries than Ahri 80 carries at least. So that makes me feel at least a little bit better.
Yeah, and I also feel like it just makes a little bit more sense, right? Because with this Ahri, and you're going up against Zoe, you want someone that is a little bit more mobile, right? You want to be able to dash away from some of these lockdowns and come through from the Zoe, like the sleepy trouble bubble. You get hit with one of those, especially late game, it is all over. And it hurts too, trying to dash away from the paddle star. And Syndra is someone who does take a little bit of time to get online, while the Ahri already hitting pretty hard early on, especially with the Q, right? True damage that comes out from it. Just try and put KTPU in his place early on.
Absolutely, and with the spectator delay ticking down, Echo, once again, we got some predictions to make for game number 2. We were both very wrong for game number 1. I also went first for game number 1, so you know what? You gotta go first for game number 2.
That's fair. That is fair. I'm looking, all right, let's see, looking at the lineups. It's rough. It is rough, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with blue side here, which is, if I'm not mistaken, KTPU. It is indeed, yeah, because it's as you're on there, just because I want to see this Vex Pike lane work out, and I have a feeling I could definitely see some synergy coming out, right, with this Vex, with the fear. If you do play it right, you can definitely find a way to kind of weave that into an easy hook for Lyle 7, especially with the not so mobile Syndra coming out. Syndra itself's gonna take some time to get online. I want to see this Belveth make some things happen early on as well. Coming down bot lane early on, coming down mid lane early on. Top lane, wet noodle fight, like you mentioned. I'm not expecting too much to happen there, but overall, I think that KTPU can take it.
Okay. Do I want to disagree? You know what? I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go with IHS, Indy High School on the red side. I think that the Scion is meta enough to carry this team. I would say that almost zero champions, pretty much zero champions here for KTPU are probably above B tier, if that, right now. And I think it's going to be a very difficult team come to play. Champion-wise, meta-wise, micro-mechanics-wise, like Belveth is a very difficult champion to play, and so is Zoe. So just the mid jungle in and of itself, I say is going to be quite difficult to execute. Ari, meanwhile, I think she's a tutorial champion. Like, she is a very easy champion mechanics-wise to play. You can focus on macro, you can focus on... To put the highest ranked player on in the game, I would definitely argue Belveth is a very solid choice. Has plenty of sustain and plenty of 1v9 damage threat potential. We've got the classic Scion Death Bush from Indy High School, but nothing else much happened in this level 1 quite yet.
Definitely so. I feel mid lane, definitely going to have to keep our eyes on because that is the most equally matched, dare I say, coming out here. Because KT Hurai, gold 3 as well as Potato, gold 4 here. Both same amount of wins and ranked as well. Really going to be a bit of a hands matchup coming through as we're just getting ready to get onto the Rift here. Right there just yet. Let's wait for them to load. Oh, there we are. What am I saying? We're on the Rift. We're ready to get going. And oh, okay. We're getting spicy already.
Potentially. Okay. Oh, nope. Spied out by the ward, but Tipsy Bartender, not actually able to do a whole lot other than maybe steal it over the wall, get some extra vision around this red buff. They know it's happening, but there's not a whole lot they can really do to stop it.
He's a literal Chad. He's just standing there. He's like, I'm going to make sure that you have to smite this. It is going to go down, but ultimately, a bit of a knockup comes through, and now Tipsy Bartender. I respect that you will give your life for your jungler's camps, but maybe not the move to make early on. Ozzy's going to pick up the first blood there, and not the member you want to give it to.
No, definitely not. Getting a first blood and stealing away that first red buff away from Captain is not the best start to the game for Indy High School. Tipsy Bartender will be forced to teleport back to lane as well. So that is one death and one summoner spell already in their favor. A little bit of a 2v2 down here on the bot lane. Indy's High School's bot lane did get that level 2 advantage, and very nice punish on a KTPU's bot lane.
It is here. Still a bit of trading going down in this bot lane here. It's definitely going to take a minute here for Magician and Lyle 7 to be able to actually start moving forward. Need to get that full range of abilities before they can actually start pushing on forward here. I advocated for them, so maybe you'll say I'm coping, but it's just give them a little bit of time. Give them a little bit.
A little bit of time, hopefully, will be enough. I'm just waiting. I was walking his way back to the top side again.
He's back up once again. He's saying it's free farm in this top lane. Tipsy Bartender is now a dead bartender. Down he goes. He's going to look for unknown top, though. The flash. Oh, it's not fast enough, and he will still fall. So Tipsy Bartender is still going to get something out of it.
Train it out 1-for-1. Definitely best case scenario for the Indy squad here, but that is kind of the Scion game that you would definitely expect to see. Inting Scion is a very real strategy that actually does work. It sounds like I'm saying this sarcastically. I'm trying not to be sarcastic right now. It can legitimately work. I haven't seen it work that much in competitive play. It is definitely much more of a solo queue strategy, but if you can play it well enough, you can definitely make it work anywhere.
There were obviously some nerfs that came out around it here, mainly about the damage that they do to towers. Now trying to coax players away from it a little bit, but no, Inting Scion will prevail. We see it still happen every so often. Here's Last 7. Hook is gonna go wide, stunned up, needs to dash on away. That is what I'm talking about. That fear that is available definitely can push these members of Indy into these very odd spots, and then Lyle can look for the hook. Ozzy, though, standing on top of a ward, I don't think he knows it just yet, and so He's still going to look to go in. Meanwhile, mid lane, still a bit of trading. The hook comes out, still finds the mark. They find the fear. Don't find the knockup, though, because the flash is going to come out from Sign On Lover.
And it's a pause. Oh, no, not again. This game, I was going to say this series, though. It's just this game has been full of pauses, Echo. What's going on?
I don't know. I thought we were going to get out scot-free for this series, but it's not looking too likely. It's just a miniature pause real quick. No word on it just yet, so maybe we'll get lucky and get right back into the action. But already, Camcom, Ozzy is 2-0. Has that pickaxe, has a longsword already, is looking for more blood. It's already looking not very good for Indy if they keep this up.
Bel'Veth as well is the objective taking champion right now. Previously, before Bel'Veth was released, she is still considered a pretty new champion. It was Nunu that had that name and that title, but that has largely been transferred to Bel'Veth as a champion because of how her passive gives her just extra stats on all of her abilities, pretty much, in case you've never played Bel'Veth. Then she gets like an evolved slappy form, evolved
slap.
That's what I lovingly call it. No, it's actually called some like golden chalice. I don't know what the passive is called, but it just gives her extra stats on everything. It's very scary to play against. This is an in-game pause that you always get after an actual pause, so do not fear. Yes, the client is back and up for some more League of Legends.
Absolutely. A nice charm gonna land there by Potato. Just gonna kind of see that back and forth. I definitely feel like in the mid lane, while top unknown top's actually getting lower and lower than I expected, as did see Captain Crab there possibly motioning on down into this bot lane, maybe looking for something here. Not finding anything just yet. First drag is up and available.
First Ocean Dragon, definitely, like we have been saying, may expect this to go to the Bel'Veth. However, that passive is only actually unlocked once you hit level 6 on the champion, so it may not be taken immediately right now on spawn, but I would expect it to be taken very quickly once Ozzy does hit level 6.
Still here. Captain still waiting in the wings, and that Dark Harvest does possibly tell me that maybe we get to see blue form game coming out, which I don't see too much as often anymore, just because honestly, I mean, Red Cane is just so incredibly strong. The sustain that comes out from it, just a bruiser build you can have with it, is so incredibly good, but we'll wait and see.
Just have to wait and see, as the topic of the game right now is wave control across this bot lane. Captain shows face on the bot lane for the first time, but Ozzy on the top.
Yeah, Ozzy wants some more free kills here. Tipsy gonna do his damnedest to try and get some damage out here. He does hit pretty hard, but so does Ozzy, and now on the top has to run for the hills, but so does Ozzy. Finds a knockup, but is able to dash on away. So they'll both be able to get out of that one alive. There will be no repeat. Fortunately, on that bot lane, the goated minion sacrificed himself to block the stun, so that Magician is able to get out alive.
Just about alive, and with that, it is actually going to be the first dragon going over to Indy High School. They get to claim this first Ocean Dragon. I know last game I said Hextech Dragon is my least favorite first dragon. Ocean Dragon is actually my favorite first dragon. I think it lets you stay in lane a whole lot longer with your health, and I forget if it still gives you mana regen, but if it does, then mana regen as well. It keeps you in lane for so much longer, especially in the early game.
Still here. Saw on top almost getting taken out there. Taylor's got a bit of a shove building up here in his wave, but look over at those Raptors, man. Ozzy is over there counter jungling a little bit. Luckily, they removed that damn 30% damage reduction on enemy camps, which I dread so much as a jungler. So now you can actually counter in jungle a lot more efficiently now, and we can see Ozzy doing exactly that. Grab the Raptors, might look for the red buff, but it is gone, and Captain Crab right over the wall here. Ozzy is a lot lower, but is still going to look for it. Gets the heal by taking the camp, has that Conqueror stacked up. Captain's going to go over the wall here with your Trespass, waiting in the bush form, finds the slow, finds the damage, gets the Dark Harvest Soul.
Oh no.
Here
He's
now
doing it to him.
Flash in, and the burrow comes through. Gonna allow Ozzy to stay alive. Won't dodge the knockup, and the axe comes down, and Ozzy's gonna eat the dirt.
Tipsy Bartender picks up that 300 gold shutdown off of Ozzy, as well as his flash. Those were two massive, I guess not cooldowns, but important things, I guess,
Yeah.
for Indy Esports to have 8 minutes into this game. That also delays the initial Rift Herald that Ozzy would have loved to take right then and there if he was still alive. So now I would expect him to probably just walk to blue buff and then probably go take that Rift Herald, maybe drop it top, maybe drop it mid. Bot lane has been the quietest lane, surprisingly, so far. So I would definitely expect it to go on to somewhere on this top side.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the lanes with the weirdest picks have been the quietest so far today. Same thing with the top, right, in the last series, except for the span ganks that were coming through. I mean, the jungle, excuse me, not the top. And this time around, the bot lane, rather quiet. Mid, a lot of trading. Top, the jungle has a lot of attention. Here's Potato. Might look for the all-in out there, right? Doesn't quite find the charm there. Rise got the footwork. That does come through. Here's the Shadow gets dropped there by Mythical Mage, but is not really going to find anything. More importantly, though, Ozzy making his move over on to this Rift Herald soon. Going to grab the crab first, but Harai is pretty low. Probably won't be able to lend any backup.
Okay, I gotta give a little bit of a shout out there to Potato. His charm there looked very troll. Yes, it was 90 degrees in the wrong direction, but I think he was trying to predict a flash from here on. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that because it was thrown so much in what looked like not in his direction, but was a very possible flash direction for him. I think it wasn't a terrible charm. Meanwhile, of course, to nobody's surprise, the Belveth, wow, claimed the Rift Herald. Nobody saw this coming. Probably from his pathing now, we're going to be dropped it mid.
Yeah, well, he did predict that tunnel that came through from Harai, picks up the kill, and now Captain's here. They're going to find the damage coming through. Almost Trespass gets dropped, comes out of the body, grabs the kill, looking for Lyle 7 as well. A double kill. Won't live to tell the tale, but that's still 2 kills picked up.
Indy Esports making their name known, making sure that it is not all in the jungle. And Captain picking up 2 kills for himself, still sitting at about half the kills of Ozzy, but getting a double kill, I believe, gives you some amount of extra gold. I don't know if it's a massive amount or not. Potato has been consistently landing these charms as well. The important ones not landing, but the not important ones landing. So he does at least win out on a majority of these trades.
Just running out there, flash to not get hit by the knockup there. But that was a really cool adaptation there, actually. Not gonna lie, coming up from Tipsy Bartender. Has to ult to get out of the lane because Ozzy was there. Says, screw it, I'll go mid instead. Try to help out Potato get even some more goals here. Rise, gotta be careful. Every time you use those tunnels, man, I'm worried that charm might just land. But for now, L7 lies in wait for possible gank opportunity. No ult available. Might not need it. Gonna get on top of him, find the stun, finds it, finds the damage, finds the hook, and claims the kill.
And that kill gold from level 9, LoL 9, however we're gonna say this name, is also shared with Hirai because, of course, of that Pike passive.
Ooh,
Magician might not be so lucky.
No, he is not. The exhaust came through, down he goes, and now Ozzy is gonna look for some retribution of his fallen mate. Stun comes through, the heal to try and get faster, but it might just not matter. The ult comes out from Sign and Lover, but Ozzy hits so incredibly hard. Turret being up, they are gonna be okay. Captain's on his way, does get spotted out by the ward, and so it's going to be a quick retreat, possibly, unless they maybe look for something. Ozzy is a menace. Psycho plays coming through, wants to look for the fight, but doesn't quite find the knockup.
Not quite yet, but that second dragon is up and waiting for the taken. TP is available on only unknown top right now. Both of the solo laners for Indy Esports have no teleports available, so if there is a fight for this dragon, I do expect it to go in the favor of KTPU for now, and there might not even be a fight.
Nope, they find the knockup, find the stun, nicely done. Kill secured by Lyle 7. Shadow Surge is going to go wide by Magician, so they won't find the re-engage, but possibly Harai is here, but he's just sectioned. Now going to use a blast code, but doesn't get over the wall. Hit by the Everfrost. And down Harai goes. Nothing Ozzy can do but watch.
Nothing else he can do. Magician did use a good fear there. Potato's still going in.
Oh, yeah. Waiting for that flash to get procced, and a nice charm. He hits those every time. Do they have the damage is the question, and the answer, Camcom, is a resounding yes.
And all of a sudden, Indy Esports have come out on top with a 2,000-3,000 gold lead now over KTPU. The early game was so disastrous for them, but now they have finally found themselves a true gold lead, and now hopefully a dragon lead as well. Captain starting up this second dragon. Ozzy doesn't have a whole lot of mana to contest, and Smite is currently on cooldown as well.
It is. Ozzy knows something's up. It's going to probably opt for that mid lane instead, though. Look for a gank here. Needs to find the knockup. Everfrost lands, and a nice knockup follows. The Drowsy, everything that needs to connect finds its mark, and they get the kill.
So well played by Ozzy. No longer 100% of the KTPU kills shared between Ozzy and Lil9. Now at least one kill is picked up for Kirai, and Unknown Top and Magician still sitting, still waiting for their kills. Waiting very patiently is what they're doing for now. And I mean, Magician probably needs kills a lot more than Unknown Top. He is a Malphite after all, and Malphites are known for being useful in team fights, but you don't need to be useful in team fights by having gold. That gold is usually much more spent, or much better spent on members that need items. Ozzy?
Ozzy in the 1v1 with Cap. Wanted to make sure he doesn't get that red buff. Trying to get that buff transfer. It is completed. Finds the passive, looking for the knockup, but Tipsy Bartender says, you're not going anywhere. Meanwhile, Mythical Mage in the one-on-one with Harai. Lyle 7, incredibly low. Oh, Shadow Surge lands, though. Huge damage. And the execute comes through. Nicely played.
And that is the Assassin follow-up that I guess we were waiting for from Champion Select when we saw the Vex and Pyke locked in for the bot lane. One of them presses R, the other one can immediately execute with their R and just repeat it as they both have what is it? Ults that repeat.
Resets.
Reset. Yes, ults that reset with kills. Ari is another one of those champions, but she's on the wrong team to make that happen, as there's casually a kill in the top lane. I never talk about kills in the top lane because I never think they're gonna happen, Echo. And then sometimes they do.
Listen, no, it was just an expedited reset for Unknown Top to get back to base here, is what Tipsy gave him here. Taking him out. Tipsy Bartender, despite that questionable start, is now 4-3, has been running amok in this top lane here. Lyle 7 got to be careful that he doesn't get caught out, while Ozzy is on top of Tipsy Bartender. Doesn't have that ult available just yet. Mike comes through to slow him down. Oh my god, that was actually a really nice knockup coming through, making sure that they can utilize that vision differential. Ultimate comes down, and down goes Tipsy Bartender. Grab that ulti, but gotta be careful though, because you can't underestimate that damage that comes through. But luckily, Ozzy is fast enough to escape. Meanwhile, Harai does find the Everfrost. We're going everywhere on the Rift because the action is happening everywhere at once. Now it's finally calmed down, and Ozzy is gonna go ahead and look for that Herald.
Finally, Ozzy gets the second Rift Herald. This is the reason for picking Belveth. You should get both the Rift Heralds every single time. Maybe they didn't get the first two dragons, but they have now successfully picked up the first two Rift Heralds, so the Belveth has completed the Belveth Slappy dream. Unfortunately, I don't think they actually dropped the first Rift Herald. I think it may have timed out.
They got in bot lane, they got like a plate for it, and then they all proceeded to die.
I was fully convinced that it just wasn't dropped because I still saw like all the tower HPs at 100%. There's something that just happened in the mid lane. Again, I never think that these kills are actually going to happen, and for some reason they do.
Yeah, if Ozzy gets his way, those kills are confirmed. Meanwhile, Cloud 7 looking, trying to hold on to this turret, but it's not going to be enough. Down he goes. Ozzy dropped the Herald, and this time around, they'll finally get something for their troubles. It'll be that mid-tier 1 going on down.
First turret, nope, second turret, not first turret. I'm a liar. First turret was taken in the bot lane. Second turret there in the mid lane. So it is actually once again Indy Esports on the top. We've got an even kill score of well over a kill a minute at this point here, Echo. But got two Rift Heralds for KTPU, two dragons for Indy Esports, and got one tower apiece. This is about as even as the game as you could hope for coming in the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and I don't think even is something that Ozzy wants, because that, you can really just see he's kind of carrying his team right now gold-wise. 7-2-2, the main front line for KTPU. The only member who can really send it go in deep. follow-up just tends to be kind of lacking. You can see Ozzy lies in wait, gets found with the charm, still has that burrow available. It's going to pop it. Now the Lazam and the Hirai are here. They're not going to quite find anything just yet. Noodle fight top, nothing really surprising there. They're all going to look to back off.
Finally able to back off there. Next dragon now here in 15 seconds. It was a Chemtech Soul last game. We got a Chemtech Soul again for this game. Indy Esports, surprisingly, again, have taken both of these dragons. I'm only saying surprising because there is a Bel'Veth in this game, and that Bel'Veth is sitting 7 and 2 at 2.5 items. This should be very difficult to start stacking dragons against a champion that is so well known for taking dragons quickly, and you're gonna get to see now how fast Bel'Veth can melt these dragons.
Yeah, already on top of it while Hirai is going to be looking to hold the line here. But on forward, does get stunned though. Charm finds its mark again. Potato does not miss those. Ultimately, Hirai will give their life for the drag. And now Tipsy Bartender does need to ult to get on out of there. Shadow Surge will not find the mark. Unknown Top will be there to try and chase him down. And Ozzy maybe wants to pick here, but it's probably just going to look for some more counter jungle.
I would definitely see a Bel'Veth in my solo queue game dashing over that wall and going in for the 1v3. That is like 100% of the time happening every time, and it still might happen right now.
Well, looking for the ulti, but Unknown Top doesn't quite have the distance. Won't find a knockup, unfortunately. Lyle 7's hook
TP
will go around. Well, TP is going to come through from Tipsy. He's back with a vengeance. Captain looking to get some damage in, has that Emerald Trespass available, but it's not even needed because Sinon Lover is going to go ahead and grab that. Well, as he's just casually clearing out his jungle, but they know that he's here and they're looking to run him down. Captain's going to be the first one on the scene, but oh my god, look at that damage.
My god.
Barely trapped alive. Is it going to be enough? Oh, just barely. Blast Code coming in clutch.
I don't know if I'm more surprised of Ozzy or Captain making it out of that line. But yeah, Emerald Trespass definitely making sure the Captain makes it out alive of that one, but none of these fights have really impacted the game in larger of a sense than the fight itself. There aren't typically being many objectives taken around or after these fights have been won by a team, so other than the gold that is being stacked on these champions, all of these team fights are going to culminate in like this one soul fight that happens in 20 minutes, and that's going to be what ends the game.
It's the little pieces, you know, we're stacking the chess pieces right now for the final battle to happen, but yet it doesn't feel like they're getting any sort of advantages out of those fights. You would imagine right by now, surely there'd be a couple more turrets taken, but no, it's really just the outers that have fallen here, more so for the side of KTPU, which are only, oh no, they still have that mid-tier one at relatively full HP. The top tier one is not looking too healthy from what I can see at the moment, but regardless, they got to look for something more here. Ozzy's constantly sending it in deep, right? Constantly looking for those kills, but just doesn't feel like they're getting anything out of it.
Yeah, absolutely not. It has been a little bit too hard for Ozzy. He's either been playing for an objective or playing for kills. It has not been placed together quite yet, and I believe once they do place them together, that is when this KTPU comp really does get to shine. It just feels like there's one missing part right now, and that is just a follow-up to objectives from not only Ozzy, the rest of the team as well, but it's just more noticeable on Ozzy because he holds a large majority of the kills and the gold. We got another wet noodle fight in the top lane. I have no idea if this is going to be a killer. It is at least a flash.
Yeah, flash does come through. Unknown Top will not give over that top lane. Meanwhile, Mage is going to go on down. Unknown Top doesn't win these, though, and he's realizing that right about now. He might have to give that tower on over. Sinon Lover is going to pick up Hirai in the process. And Unknown Top must walk away in shame, defeated. He gave everything he had to hold that top turret, but it still fell.
Still so close for the top lane kills. Kills that should never be happening in the top lane, just continuously coming out of nowhere at this point. I am going to start looking towards the Baron now. Maybe actually not right now, but after the next dragon, I think, is when Barons are going to start having some more importance in this game. They have largely been ignored so far, but we're gonna keep saying it, Belveth is the objective taker of the game. If KTPU wants to start this Baron, it will be gone in less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, definitely so. 53 farm up on Captain as well. Ozzy is the main player of this team. See Ozzy look to translate those picks something more tangible at the moment, some more turrets that go down, some more objectives taken. But for now, Indy is still sitting on 2 drags, so they're fairly safe when it comes to this dragging stacking. Surely, though, we're going to see a fight brewing in these next 30 seconds, because that's when this next dragon is up. And if Indy can grab it, that'll put him on soul point. And I very much doubt that KTPU wants to let that happen. But first, they're going to look for a pick in the top lane. But Tipsy is able to just ult on away from that one. And that does give the first move on over to Indy. Oh, the trade.
And Indy once again have been on top of these objectives. They are all collapsing around that dragon on the bot side, but more importantly around this Baron on the top side. I said if KTPU wanted to start this Baron, it would be gone faster than you can say. Baron is being taken by KTPU. They have now pulled off of it because the team fight on bot side didn't go their way.
Yeah, and it's not looking like the rest of the fight's gonna go their way either, because the shutdown comes through. Not gonna find the execute either, and Tipsy Bartender will find the double kill. They're gonna say thanks for the leash and look to start this Baron on up.
Baron now in full control of Indy eSports. Only one member, that being the Vex, sitting on the bot lane right now, can even try to contest it. And meanwhile, Tipsy Bartender just casually taking that dragon all on his own. They don't even need him on this Baron.
Yep, and that's some great macro coming through. Looks like Magician is going to be the one to answer. Have vision on it. Tipsy's going to look to pull the drag on out, buy some time for Captain. Get on over there. I was going to say, man, you don't have time to take your Raptors, Captain. You got to get a move on. You got to get this drag back. The rest of KTPU is back up, and they're gunning for it. Dragon is down to about 2k HP, and there we go. With Captain on it, it should be secured. Down it goes, and that's going to be the third drag for Indy.
Indy eSports High School. I don't know if that's their full name or not, but that is their full name now in my head. Now do have 5 members strong with that Baron, with that 3 dragon stacking. It is 4.5 minutes before their Chemtech Soul comes online, but we still don't really have many towers taken. We have 2 towers apiece. No team yet to break the inner turret line. I don't even know if anyone has even damaged these inner turrets quite yet. Yeah, I believe these inner turrets are all still sitting at 100% of their HP until I am proven otherwise. So it is going to be still quite a minute before we see teams start pushing to end, but this Baron is definitely potentially the start to the end for KTPU if Indy eSports is able to play that right.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned, it's like you said, you prophesized it, that all these little fights were culminating to one really big fight, and we got to see that at the Baron, right? Just the almost full ace coming through over on the side of KTPU as once again, they're going to look for Tipsy. They were able to cancel out the ult, so now Tipsy's going to have to fend off the attacks. Look at how tanky this man is. That is a 7-3 belt, and it still took him that long to take him out, and now in that ult farm, he got a dip because Tipsy Bartender hits like a truck.
And meanwhile, here in the mid lane, the rest of Indy eSports can just collapse on this turret. This is the tower taken that I said that they needed. You have a Baron cannon minion. This is the best minion to take any turret. Usually you see these minions on inhibitor turrets, but they will absolutely melt these outer turrets as well. Meanwhile, up there on the top side, I was about to say Ozzy did have to blow a slash that, but didn't actually have to do that quite yet. But that does go to show Tipsy Bartender cannot be left alone in a side lane at any point for the rest of this game. At this point, it probably will take more than one person to actually kill him.
Yep, Ozzy with the flash forward wants to catch Potato. Mythical's here though as well, looking for the stun. Doesn't quite find it though, but Potato's gonna go gold. Buying time for Simon and the Captain to get on over. The charm comes through with the barrow. It's just not going to be enough. And Ozzy is going to get put in the dirt. You can go 8-4, but it doesn't matter. Down goes Lyle 7 as well. And Indy has turned this game around completely.
Indy now a 6,000 gold lead. Their Baron just expired now, unfortunately, as they are finally in a position to use it for its objective-taking purposes, and they might not even need it if they could just continue their kills. I mean, that is a Malphite that got exploded.
Down, unknown, top goes. And now we're seeing what we wanted to see from KTPU, right? Those kills coming out into tangible things, right? Turrets being taken out. We're seeing it in this bot lane. We're about to see it in this mid lane as well, as we're going to look to siege it up. And the walls are now crumbling around KTPU.
Both the inner turrets on the bot side taken. The inner turret on top side next up and awaiting to be taken by Indy Esports. They've taken more turrets without the Baron than they have with the Baron. I think the Baron is just a curse of the tower takings. We've got 90 seconds left on this Chem Tech Soul, and pretty much KTPU had 90 seconds left if they need to make anything happen left to try and stay in this game. That could definitely be, at this point in the game, a game-ending team fight if they do lose it.
Yeah, death timers are incredibly high. See the siege potential that comes through from Indy is so incredibly strong. Ozzy, I'm looking to farm up a little bit more. Already 3 items strong. Looking for Mortius next, but it's just the rest of the squad, man. They don't have the items necessary to really put up a fight in comparison to Indy, where their kills are a lot more spread out. The gold is a lot more spread out, and I feel like you can see that paying dividends as now the charm lands, the ever connect, the auto attack comes through, and with the dash forward, Potato is going to grab Lyle 7, and that puts KTPU 1 man down in this crucial dragon fight. Oh, the damage from Mirai. Pretty huge though, but not quite enough to secure the kill.
Oh my god, that fruit healing is quite insane. And on top of that as well, Potato does have the TP, so he will easily be able to TP back to this dragon if a fight does start. Tipsy Bartender on the top side, split pushing, also with TP. This is a very difficult fight for KTP to try and take. Their support is on a 5-second death timer still, and it's a 9-second timer on this dragon spawn.
It is Bartender doing Tipsy Bartender things, just pushing these side lanes right now, looking for the knockup, gonna find it. It's gonna look to possibly 1v2 here, buying time for the rest of his team to just grab that dragon. Down goes he, right? Oh my god, he's taking so many tower shots. How is this guy still alive? They're gonna need the full force of all members to take him down, and the turret will still get dropped by the passive form. The drag is picked up as well. That soul secured for Indy. Was it worth it, KTPU? I'm gonna say no.
No, I don't think it was. I mean, they traded out 1 for 1 for sure, but you should not need to commit 5 members to a side lane and still lose 1 to just a solo Scion. You lost the soul, now you may lose the Baron immediately after as well. Chemtech Soul is a very difficult soul to fight against because it gives you that extra healing and I believe extra tenacity. I think that's what it does. They keep changing these dragons and the souls.
You take less damage now. They take less damage and deal more though. You're out of death. Yeah, they keep changing it up.
I can never remember what exactly every single dragon does anymore, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like it's so weird. It's like the individual ones give you tenacity, but then the soul is just a complete 180, just completely. So either way, Tipsy Bartender is more of a threat now than he was, and he was already so incredibly menacing.
Don't let him split push in a side lane is what KTP heard, and they took that a little bit too much to heart, I think. Don't send 5 people. You can send 1 person. Maybe, I guess you can't send Ozzy because he's a jungler, but maybe send a no top. He's the one that's got TP, so in theory, he's the best member to try and contest on side lanes on opposite sides of the map. Baron is started up by KTP. I don't love this. Captain is waiting right there in the wings.
Yeah, and look at the bot side of the map, right? Magician is still making his way on over. They started it up, but they are going to go ahead and back off. And Tipsy Bartender just says, screw it. Okay, I'll take your whole base if you let me. Still has TP up and available if needed. And now they're just going to back off on the Baron, and they might just have to seed it on over here as has been started up once again, but this time it's started up by Captain and the rest of Indy as they're just shredding it down. Ozzy is going to be waiting in the wings with the rest of the gang here, so maybe they try and stop him. They are going to look to force them off of it. Dives in deep.
Start it back.
Yep, starting it back here, saying we'll keep on where you left off. While one that holds the base. Baron's down to 2k HP. It's going to be the Smite fight coming through. It's going to be secured, but a lot of damage that's get dropped. Lyle 7 gets blown up, and now it's time for Ozzy to shine. You have to live. You have to kill them right here, right now, because your inhibitor has fallen, and Tipsy's just going to keep on going. You got to take these guys out right now, and Ozzy's looking to do exactly that. A lot more damage onto Sin. Ghost Gold. Time. Hextrigger's gonna keep him alive, but look at Tipsy. It's the base race, and there's no response from KTPU. He takes that one back. Now it's time to stop the ports, and they're looking to do exactly that. Uri, so much damage comes through. Mythical Mage looking for the chase. Paddlestar comes through, flash forward, ignite as well, but it's not gonna be enough.
So take all the ignite that Hirai was holding on to. Still just about to take enough for Mythical Mage to end up falling. Tipsy Bartender was left alone for far too long on the bot lane. They forgot about the Scion. He took your inhibitor. He took your Nexus turret. There's only one Nexus turret left.
Is he just gonna go to base?
He's just gonna go to base. He says this game is done if I have anything to say about it. He just popped the ghost. He's not gonna pop the ult.
He's actually just, he's going. He's actually just sending it. He's just ulting over to the base.
Look at the TP, look at the TP.
Yeah, Unknown Top's gonna try and TP on for it. The ult doesn't hit the turret. But Tipsy Bartender's just gonna do whatever he can here. Buy some more time for his rest of the squad to push those minion waves. That is funny indeed. He's just gonna do as much damage as he can. Oh my god, he's actually, what? 7 still goes down. The Heartsteel proc came through, as well as the Titanic Hydra passive. This hits so damn hard. Even in death, Tipsy Bartender takes you with him.
That is impressive, to say the least. Yeah, the best case scenario there for Tipsy Bartender was to hit the tower with his ult. Unfortunately, he just missed. He hit the bot lane dead turret, or the bot side dead turret, so he didn't get the full damage brunt on the top side Nexus turret. And he still got a kill with it. So just imagine if that hit the turret and he got the kill. So now the Baron is still up very much and active for KTPU. They get at least one turret with that, but I don't expect it to be a whole lot more.
Yeah, the Tipsy Bartender down, their main front line out of the picture. That is going to allow them to siege down that turret. Obviously, Captain going for that blue form, right, rather than the red means that he's not going to be as much of his front line as you would be with that red form. Kane wants to look for those picks instead. But even with the Baron, I mean, they got a mid-tier 1, and that's really about it. Top tier 1 is still standing, relatively healthy as well. That's free unclaimed gold. Next drag is up in 50 seconds, and it's an Elder drag. And you know for a fact, Tipsy Bartender is going to send it into the enemy base. So now you have to make a decision. Do you look to fight for this drag, or do you try and stop Tipsy? And I don't feel there's really a right answer, because it feels wrong.
Does look like Indy have one single ward on the enemy side of the map, and that is on that red buff. Tipsy is holding onto that TP. That is the ward that may spell the end of the game for KTPU if it doesn't expire, if they don't clear it. If anything happens incorrectly right now, Captain might be gone.
Yeah, looking for something. Tipsy looking to take out the tier 3 as well. Here's Unknown Top. He doesn't care, man. This is like watching like a little brother try to beat up the big brother, man. It's like he does not care what you throw at him. Unknown Top is just slapping away at him, and Tipsy Bartender just says, okay, that's cool. I'll continue taking the turret while a fight is looking to brew on this Elder drag. It goes down. It was secured by Ozzy, so maybe that's exactly what they need to keep this up. Tipsy Bartender will find the turret. Unknown Top is going to try and get, he might actually even kill him. Even with Elder drag, Tipsy might die. Tipsy is so huge. Lyle 7 moving on in forward, now finds the hook, could find the
surely he dies.
Surely he can get him. I don't know. Don't underestimate the proc and Heartsteel. Actually gonna look to he's gonna get out. There's no way. Okay, they finally get him. But now Lyle 7's gotta run. Magician, you need to get out of there, man. Oh my god, what is this game?
I like how like nobody else on Indy Esports has even walked into the enemy base at this point. Every single turret that is past the inhibitor, or really even the inner turret line, like every inhibitor turret, every inhibitor, obviously the next turret, exclusively taken by Tipsy Bartender. This man's tower turret damage is going to be out of this world, and so is Sign and Lover's life.
Yeah, and Tipsy Bartender being down does give the green light somewhat for KTPU to try and seize up these turrets. Oh, you're just gone. Goodbye, Uri. Oh, Flash comes forward. Looking to go. Drowsy does come through, but it doesn't matter. Down goes Uri, even with Tipsy Bartender being out for the count. But now they're going to look to send it. The burrow comes through. That's one pick. Get the reset. Keep on. Healing is huge. The burrow is huge. You gotta love that 70% damage reduction inclusive with the healing. And so Ozzy will stay alive. It's gonna look pushing things, but Tipsy Bartender is back up and available. Everfrost does land. Ozzy able to dash away. Tipsy Bartender, man, I think he's going around. He's looking for the flank angle.
I don't think Tipsy Bartender has like had champions on his mini-map for the past like 10 minutes. He is exclusively pathed towards the enemy nexus and has not looked at anything else. And it is so funny to watch. He's just back down in the bot lane. He's gonna get his TP back up soon. I think it would be very beneficial for Tipsy Bartender to have a TP on like a 1-minute cooldown at this point in the game. Just not even to like join his team at any point. Like I have no doubts that he will just use the TP exclusively to end this game in the enemy base. He needs a ward in that base, and that ward is gonna become his best friend.
Oh yeah. Listen, it's not much, but it is honest work. Not even going for kills, just wants real estate, and he's back.
There's 3 people here.
There's 3 people looking to stop him from taking this inhibitor, and look at that HP, bro. I don't know if production could click on him or not, because I would want to see how much HP he's got. He does not care. He just takes the inhibitor. He's putting some more of these Heartsteel procs, which means more men up for him, and he does not care. He's buying so much time that Ozzy is about to die up in that top side because the rest of his squad cannot back him up. Ozzy does find one, but finally goes down. Tipsy Bartender is going to find Black Magician. Down he goes. The TP is coming. This man will not die. It does not matter what you throw at him. But Drowsy is going to get counteracted by Going Gold, and Bartender is just moving under the turret. He does not care. He finally goes down.
Here comes the passive. He ends the game with the passive. Watch.
He wants kills first. That is a very rare sight as he's clearing the minions. He's hitting
Surely
the nexus.
He ends the game with the passive.
It's all over. It's a Tipsy Bartender gap, and with that, Indy will secure the game.